Formatting. Hello, 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 hello. And we're live. Hey, what's up, Hacksters? It's Fundum Friday. I'm Alex Glow, your usual host. So today we have a bunch of crowdfunding projects as usual. This is kind of a grab bag because I just found some interesting stuff I wanted to share, relating especially to recent content we have featured. So last week was April Fool's Day. And I'm still getting comments from people who are excited about this wonderful hackjack thing that we made, which basically allows you to download Hackster projects directly into your brain. And it's an implant that also includes a bone conduction audio interface with a smart assistant of your choice. Unfortunately, I have to break it to y'all that this was a joke. It was April 1st, and this is not an actual thing. It's also a celebration of the fact that The Matrix came out 20 years ago on March 31st. So, you can still go check out the article for funsies, but some of this technology, of course, I think the reason that it was so successful is that a lot of this technology does already exist, just not in a sort of skull implant form. So we're going to look at some things related to that. For example, the Play-Doh Work brain stimulator uses a technology called transcranial direct current stimulation to basically make your brain better at remembering stuff in the short term, and better at attention and focus and creativity. Which sounds like science fiction, but it's actual science. This has been around and being used by people at least since, for maybe almost 10 years now. And so it's been used by some existing companies and things, and now you can sign up to get your own piece of it. So you can either buy your own one for $337 at this point, plus the brain training, or you can get sort of a team version. And I'm going to be really quick on this because it's kind of a lightning round. We've got a lot to get through. But yeah, you can check out the rest of this Indiegogo project if you want. It tells you a little bit about what TDCS is and how it works. Basically, instead of a regular EEG brainwave reader, which would read the electrical currents that your brain is producing and analyze those. Instead, you're putting electrical currents through the brain, which sounds a little unnerving, but it's been tested a lot, and it's, up to you whether you want to go for it. There's even a consumer product on the market right now that uses transcranial alternating current stimulation, which is a similar technology. And you can buy this. It's called Hum. And I've been trying to get one of them in the studio for an interview because I think it'd be fun. But yeah, same kind of deal. And they have a white paper that shows that it works. And it's been out for long enough that I think they've probably got a decent track record on it. Another thing that you could use to build your own hackjack brain implant that is not a brain implant are these bone conduction audio sunglasses. So a few weeks ago I did a feature for Fundum Friday on smart glasses and how there's a ton of different ones, especially including bone conduction technology. And you can go check that out. It is from February 8th. I guess it was longer than a few weeks ago. But, what's the difference between mixed reality, virtual reality, augmented reality, etc. And yeah, a bunch of different models that you can check out that may be funding or already on the market. So this appears to be another one, except that it includes technology by Aftershocks, who are one of the best rated bone conduction speaker technology producers on the market. So if you are a fan of their existing bone conduction headphones, you might be interested in trying these, which are basically just sunglasses plus that. To be honest, I wouldn't necessarily, if you already have the Aftershock standalone device, I wouldn't necessarily go for this, but if you've been thinking about it, maybe this is your chance to sort of get in on it. Yeah. So this is already funded, 1,000%, and there's a week left, so you can jump on it now if you want. And there's like swappable lenses and all that good stuff. Next up, not related to brain implants, we've got the Fromaggio, the world's first smart automatic home cheese maker, because that is a problem that really needs to be solved. And I'll be honest, it could reduce waste for one thing, and you definitely reduce your costs if you use this a lot. However, realize that it is $350 or $300, I guess, if you get the earlier bird version. And you can make all kinds of cheese with it. I love the idea of the fact that there's a default cheese. Like, I wonder what default cheese tastes like. The regular version comes with a stainless steel enclosure, but for $45 extra, you can get one that has a copper finish instead. Delightful. I guess just $40, but yeah. Best of luck to them. 18 days to go. They're already way overfunded, almost 5 times funded. Or no, wait, I can't math today. Almost 7 times funded. As you might be able to tell, I'm a little sick and a little out of it. But if you want a formaggio, but you just can't see shelling out $300 for it, let me introduce you to one of my favorite projects on Hackster, the Tiny Cheese Maker. This is from a hackathon that we did back in 2015. And, pardon, this team has such an amazing value proposition. They're like, have you ever said, I wish I could have a tiny amount of goat cheese in about 20 minutes? Well, we got a project for you. It basically uses a chemical process to curdle the milk, and that may not be the right term. You can read about it yourself, but yeah, basically you end up with this cheese in a piece of cheesecloth that then you like squeeze out, and you have a tiny piece of goat cheese. It's a very adorable robot, and a good tutorial to boot. Next up, this is really gorgeous, the Light Phone 2. I think it's been out for a bit, but it is, in fact, it's been out for almost a year, but it's gorgeous. The thing is, the idea of this phone is that it's an intentionally restricted phone. It doesn't have a bunch of apps that like will sap your attention and things. It's still $300, but it's got a gorgeous e-paper screen. And so the idea here is to give you the emergency functionality and communication functions of a phone, while at the same time freeing your mind from distractions and things like that. A phone that respects you. I mean, my solution to this is to just use a different device that connects to your phone that you can look at instead, but maybe this would be better for, well, it's definitely going to be better on power, for one thing, and that way you only need one device. If you're interested in e-ink and e-paper like I really am, you can check out a couple of cool tutorials like this one from DF Robot, how to make a name badge with a tricolor e-ink display. That's right, a lot of e-ink displays now are coming with not just black and white, but one additional color. So you can get black, white, and red, black, white, and blue, black, white, and yellow, things like that. And they look really cool. It's just like, you can't make something, okay. One could, in theory, but it's harder to make something ugly if you have, like, just 3 colors, like black, white, and an accent color. Like, that's, all your projects are going to look so slick. And this is a way to make your own little name badge. You can also make a Commodore 64 emulator with e-paper. That's a thing that everyone definitely needs. Anyway, retro computing, definitely excellent. Yesterday I did a feature on charming technology by Sinclair, including the ZX81 module that I showed off, which is an old computer from 1985 that was designed to help people get into computing who weren't yet on the train. And so if you're interested in this kind of stuff, if you liked that video, check out this project. If you liked this project, check out the video. It's called Sinclair's Charming Tech. And this brings us to our next funding project as well, an injection molded clear case for the Apple Mac SE/30, which is ridiculous. Anyway, if you really want one of these, you can get it. It's fully funded, and it has 29 days to go, and you could just be the coolest kid on the block. 90s transparent tech. It's so cool! Ah! Anyway. Also, incidentally, today is Yuri's night. So, April 12th is the date when Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space, went up. And he said a bunch of cool stuff about it, including one of my favorite quotations, which is, I'm going to try and say this. Oh boy. В корабле-спутнике я увидел, как прекрасна наша планета. Люди будем хранить и приумножить эту красоту, а не разрушить ее. which basically means, well, it's there in English, orbiting Earth in the spaceship. I saw how beautiful our planet is. People let us preserve and foster this beauty and not destroy it, which is, you know, very stirring, especially in recent days. I think there's a lot that we can do to work towards that. If you're curious, there's tons of Yuri's Night celebrations going on around the world tonight and in subsequent nights, so you can go to yurisnight.net to find an event near you. In the meantime, you can also, I want to start building and sharing some projects with solar power, so sort of in the same idea vein. Of course, even solar technology and other types of clean tech use materials that are mined out of the earth, and so you still need to be mindful of where the materials come from, but at least you can try and get interested. If you're interested in solar technology, there's plenty of ways for you to do that. So this is an example by Brown Dog Gadgets, and they have a little cool, cute solar tracker that sort of follows the sun around, and it's a great educational project. So A, it's a cute project, and B, it's also a kit that you can get from their site. So I recommend checking this site out for all kinds of different kits for getting people into technology. Yeah, there are tons of cool kits and stuff. Crazy circuits, kits. Let's have a look at the whole kits page. Yeah, so you've got like a makerspace set for if you're founding your own makerspace, classroom sets, starter kits, robotics kits, sewing starter kits, and then crazy circuits, which is this type of circuits that interact with Lego. They can snap together. With squishy circuits, what is this, dough? You can get it with paraconductive paint. What is it? What is it? Na, 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 na. Yeah, it's dough-based lighting and sound system. Cool. So check out, yeah, this is browndoggadgets.com, makers of the Solar Tracker and Solar Tracker V2.0. Don't forget about the injection molded case for your old Apple Mac. I guess you can just say Mac. The e-paper Commodore 64 project. You got a name badge with an e-ink display. The Light Phone 2, which is now funding. I mean, I think it's funded, but you can still buy it. And then there's a Tiny Cheese Maker, which is your DIY version of Fromaggio, which you can still get for 18 days. Check out our Smart Glasses Roundup, and look at the OptiShocks, which are the visual or sunglasses version of aftershocks. Bone conduction glasses. I'm getting confused because Bare Conductive is a maker of electric paint, conductive electronic paint, and they also have a kit over here on Brown Dog Gadgets. So it's not Bare Conductive, it's Bone Conduction. It just uses your skull as it like transduces vibrations and uses your skull sort of as a speaker instead of having actual speakers piping in audio to your ears. If you're curious about upgrading your brain with electronics, you can go check out Hum, which uses TACS or transcranial alternating current stimulation, or go support the Play-Doh Work brain stimulator, which uses transcranial direct current stimulation and is now funding. Apparently, though, they do not have a full final product yet. They have a prototype that they are turning into the final product, so be aware of that. But yeah, and then of course you can always go back and read our Hackjack article, which was a collaboration with Adam Benzian and also our designer, Mike Gorel. Thanks so much for watching. I hope some of this has been interesting for you. I'm going to see if there's any questions before we wrap up. Someone says, I want to join your group. Default cheese. I'm not sure what you mean by our group. You can join Hackster.io by just going to the website. Like so. You go here, and then you, instead of having a little person here, you'll have a button that says like sign up or register or something like that, and you can join, and then you can talk to other people and comment on their projects, and it'll be awesome. Ask them questions. Are there any comments on this one? Food plus electronics. I love this. Do you ever work on the servo speed? Oh yeah, if you have too high of a servo speed, you're gonna end up with your delicious goat cheese spilled on the table, so comments like that. Very important. That's how you join the group. All right. I'll see you next Monday. Have an awesome weekend. Ciao.